how far did government go to stem the outbreak of foot and mouth disease? Meat exports were banned after the disease was first reported in Limpopo in January. For an update, we're joined by our reporter Liranzo Temba, who joins us from Pretoria. Now, Liranzo, good morning to you. Talk to us about the kind of update that we're going to be getting from the Minister of Agriculture.
Morning to you, Xoli. Well, there's no doubt that the Minister of Agriculture is going to be fielding a lot of questions from journalists here at the GCIS in the capital, mostly just to find out whether or not government officials, as well as the many brains that are just tasked with guarding these livestock, have they been able to put a lid on the outbreak of this virus? Of course, we know that the department hit the ground running, Xoli, in January when this outbreak was reported. And of course, we will have an update today whether or not there's going to be a need for culling of livestock. We know that this disease affects cattle, it affects sheep as well as pigs, and of course pigs that are also domesticated as well as wild pigs. So the minister has a lot of questions to field, as I've said, and more than anything, will the country gain back its food and mouth free status that was of course suspended in January after the outbreak that was reported in the Capricorn as well as the Vembe district in Limpopo?
Liranzo, I know that the minister has yet to speak on exactly what the update is regarding this outbreak of foot and mouth disease, but have you been able to hear whether this particular spread or outbreak is still confined in Limpopo, or might it have spread to other provinces?
Well, I must say the department has remained really mum about what they're going to be giving us today. We do hope that they will be giving us positive news as to whether or not they've been able to put a lid on this disease. But of course, on the other hand, Xoli, it could turn out that the disease has also spread to other parts. We know that the Gauteng MEC was warning travelers who have traveled to that province, the Limpopo province, urging them when they come back to the Gauteng area, saying that they should really just desist from taking with them livestock or, fresh produce that they would have brought along with them on an ordinary holiday because in light of this foot and mouth disease. So we know that MEC Mahile did give a really stern warning to Gauteng residents, saying that because they're unsure of what is going on there and how the officials have been able to basically just clamp down on this disease, they're just warning travelers, saying that when they do come back to the province, they should really just make sure that they don't bring these products that could contain the disease. We're obviously talking about 15,000 cattle, as well as pigs, as well as goats, and so forth, that could be affected by this. So one thing that government officials have noted is that for them to get back this food and mouth free status, it is going to be a tall order. It is going to take all hands to be on deck, and of course this is what we are trying to establish, if this will be the case or not. So we'll have to wait until 11 o'clock, unfortunately, to find out what they have been able to ascertain, what they've been able to manage over the past 2 months, and we'll gladly give a report after that.
Liranzo, I know that you've yet to be briefed, but I promise this should be the last question to you. You've yet to be briefed. Talk to us about the drought situation. Is the minister also likely to brief or give an update in relation to that?
Yes, one of the topics that the Minister Zokwana is going to be touching on today is to give us an update on the drought. I mean, one thing is for sure, Xoli, you and me know, living in Gauteng, that we've had scores and scores of amounts of rain that's been falling each and every single evening, really. But of course, the Minister is going to be giving us a holistic view of the country, telling us about places and areas that still are in the grasp of this drought. We know that the Western Cape has really had problems with that. We also know that some other parts of the country, and of course the minister is going to give us a clear view as to what interventions are going to be put in place with those areas that are still struggling to really get the rain, the much needed rain that it needs. And of course we know that farmers are going to be watching this update very closely because of them being reliant on good weather for their crops.
Right, that's where we're going to leave it for the time being. Liranzo Temba. Of course, the drought situation being one of the concerning issues in the country. The Northern Cape, for example, still very much in the grips